Hey, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome to you to the Nishkarsh Sharma show. This is episode number 45, and today we have with us Mr. Casey. Casey is a pro. Casey runs an email marketing agency. We've worked with them before as well. They've done multi seven figures, or maybe eight figures now in sales for the email marketing clients and the brands that they work with. They are pros at maximizing your backend revenues. Casey, a very, very warm welcome to you, brother.
Thanks, Nishkarsh. Thanks for inviting me to this awesome podcast.
Beautiful. So I got to know about Casey almost 2 years back, wherein I was a part of his friend list, and I
Mhm.
saw that Casey was sharing the email marketing results, Clavio screenshots of the clients that they were working with, and I was pretty surprised because I saw that they had already they had done like seven figures for just one client of theirs almost a year back, and that's the time when I reached out to them. We partnered up, for the T-shirt brand that we were running
Mhm.
for the email marketing. And then, even if you check Casey's, his Facebook right now, you're going to see that, they're just killing it with the backend marketing for the people that they work with. So first of all, congratulations, Casey, for the great stuff that you guys are doing. It's really exciting.
Thanks. Means a lot.
Yeah. Yep. So, Casey, before you even talk about email marketing and maximizing back-end profits, what's your story, brother? I mean, where are you from? Where do you come from? How did you get introduced to entrepreneurship, e-commerce? So, what's your story?
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, I'm from Malaysia. So I'm from Malaysia, Southeast Asia. So I started learning email marketing back in 2017. So almost like 4 years ago. So when I was still in college, I wanted to do some part time to supplement my college course, my living cost. So, but that time I was like I know exactly my personality. I don't like to work for someone else. So, I came across one of my friends. Like by that time, he was also doing like some kind of internet marketing, affiliate marketing stuff. So I asked him how can I get started. So he introduced me to my first coach, my first mentor of email marketing. So that was how I got started with my first skill, like a email marketing specifically for affiliate marketing. And then I did that for around 2 years. And then I decided to transition into email marketing for e-commerce only because affiliate marketing was kind of black hat in the past.
Mm,
So a lot of the strategies that they use like not really ethical. They just pure spam.
yeah.
Like they found a lot of ways to just spam and maximize the sending volume. So um,
Mm,
although I was making like decent amount of money like back then, but I wasn't
mm,
happy
mm.
to just do all the unethical strategies. But and then I was just like, okay, I burned the boat. I transitioned to e-commerce,
Okay.
email marketing, and then by then I just like okay, all the white hat stuff for the legit brand. So yeah, that's how I got started.
Awesome. Like that's interesting. Yes, I remember, brother. Like when I was starting out with internet marketing way back in 2012, I got to know about affiliate marketing. I joined a program, and then I met
Yeah,
some people who were just doing a lot of black hat stuff.
yeah, I know.
This forum used to be very famous. I think it still is the Black Hat Forum. So you go to the Black Hat Forum, and you're gonna find so many people
Yeah,
talking about all of this. So yeah, I can relate
you
to
can
that. But
relate.
yeah, it's good. Yeah, I can relate to that. That you burned the boat. You said that, and then you transitioned into e-commerce, and you guys are killing it, right? So it's awesome. Now, tell me something. So, what do you think is the biggest mistake that
Mhm.
e-com entrepreneurs are making right now? Like I remember that in terms, and definitely in terms of back-end maximization. And why do you think it's so important? Like, what's your opinion on that?
Because right now, as you might relate, like face majority of the e-commerce brands, they just focus on one marketing channel only.
Yeah.
Like Facebook is the number one. Like the next second one is the Google. So they
Mm,
don't know the importance of diversifying the marketing
mm,
channels. So a lot of them they focus on the front end paid ads as well only, but they forget about like okay, what is the importance of the backend,
correct.
especially
Mm,
like Facebook has not been stable for a long time, like after even after iOS 14 rollout. So I think like the importance of email marketing is that they can actually collect email addresses from their website visitors and actually keep
Yeah.
them for themselves. That will be part of their online brand asset. When even if
Correct.
in the future they want to resell their brand, that will be a valuable part when they resell, and just a very good part for them to evaluate the value of their brand.
Correct. Yeah, you're right. Like you mentioned this one thing about iOS 14. Since iOS 14, I've been speaking to people who've seen a dip in their sales. And definitely a lot of like mostly businesses, especially when they're starting out, they just try and rely on Facebook ads mostly, and then when Facebook's gone, let's say that ad account gets disabled, like that happened with us, has happened with us so many times.
Yeah.
Facebook's gone, and now you're like, oh my god, what do I do? Then you start from scratch, your revenues go down, but one thing that can actually help you build a brand is connecting to your people, connecting to your customers, so that you can keep you can keep getting them back to your brand and selling them the stuff that you're selling, giving them more value. So yeah, that definitely makes sense. So have you guys, have your clients seen a dip in their revenue since the iOS 14 update was rolled out?
Yes, definitely. Like majority of our clients, they saw a huge dip from their Facebook marketing. Especially they have been relying on Facebook so much, and then right
Mm.
now they pivot to Google Ads more. So I think that's a
Yeah.
very good decision. So at the same time, we also help them drive more sales through email marketing. So that amount of like almost uh, no net profit, like gross
Mm.
profit from the backend, actually supplement them more cash to
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
find out the solution to how to advertise on Facebook.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So what do you think is the like how what are the biggest things that people do wrong when it comes to email marketing? Like to share with you, a lot of times people are going to get
Hmm.
sales and they're going to use Gmail to just send manual and random messages to their list. Sending them just links to products and stuff. Especially when people are starting out, right?
Yep.
In your experience, because I'm sure you interact with e-com brand owners who
Hmm.
want to maximize their back end revenue. What do you think are the biggest mistakes that people are making?
Yep. So there are actually a few that usually beginners that or e-commerce brands owner, they don't really know how email marketing works. They usually make this kind of mistakes. So the first one is usually they use personal email like abc@gmail.com to actually use that to represent their brand to send
Hmm.
the email campaign to their audience. So I think that is very unprofessional when they
Hmm.
when their customers see that, okay, why is this like a personal email address? So that's the
Hmm.
one thing. And then the second thing that um, second thing that most brands owner makes are like they just send one time broadcast campaign
Hmm.
to the entire audience. Like let's say
Yeah.
if their audience size is like 80K to 100K subscribers base, so they just one campaign and send it to entire audience size. So the
Yeah.
problem with that is that like the because of your inbox rate, you won't be able to reach all of them. So what I usually recommend to them is that I recommend them to segment their audience size, segment to different engagement based on different level of engagement, like open email frequency, click email frequency. So by splitting into different small bite size of segments, they can
Hmm.
actually inbox better because they only send to like smaller audience amount one at a time, and then it will reach
Hmm.
more. The more audience that you reach, the the,
Hmm.
the higher potential that you can get more sales.
Interesting. So that makes sense. Tell me something. So, what kind of extra revenues can people expect if they start utilizing their backend? Like, what are the averages that you've seen?
Okay, so for the industry standard, usually 10% extra sales from email is good. It's like
Hmm.
I would say like average, not good actually, average. But
Okay.
for 20% of sales from email is actually good, 20%. For 30% and above, the sales from
Hmm.
email is actually great. So because like you have 30% of extra sales,
Hmm.
supplement your front end, and you can spend more and however you want.
Okay. Yeah. That absolutely makes sense. And so if someone's, let's say, doing 10,000 a month, that's like an extra $1,000 in revenue, or $2,000 or $3,000
Yeah,
in
one
revenue.
to 3,000 on average.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
awesome, and that's pure profit, because you're not paying anything to acquire customers again.
Yeah.
Um, right? Okay, now with email marketing, first of all, what kind of emails do you guys usually send out? So of course you can, because of course it's not just sales. You're not just
Yep.
sending sales emails. So what kind of email sequences, what kind of emails do you usually send out?
Yep. So for email broadcast campaign, we
Yeah.
usually do article type of email and the promotional email because we strongly believe in building relationship with the subscribers and audience
Yeah.
or their existing customers. Because
Yeah.
I think by building that, you can actually deliver what your brand stand for. If you really want to build your brand and not actually just drop shipping all the way and just spam. So I think building adding value, sending all the valuable article to them and engage
Hmm.
them to open your email or click your email will also help you to boost your engagement. So the higher the engagement that you receive, the better of your inbox rate will be.
Interesting. So, in terms of, you mentioned articles. So, let's say if I'm running a t-shirt store, which is for
Mm-hmm.
people, let's say it's for veterans. All my t-shirts
Mm-hmm.
are about people in the military or people, who are veterans. So, what kind of articles do you think we can be sending them to build a relationship? Just to give an example.
I think some of the topics that you can do, like a top 10 interesting facts about uh, this and that in the army.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then and then you can also send out an email to engage them. Okay, can you share us your story about uh, your past
Hmm.
in the military, and then we will
Hmm.
feature the best story on our website,
Hmm.
so that in this way
Hmm.
you can actually start a conversation and actually get to know more about your audience, and so that in the future when you write copy for your email, when you write copy for your Facebook ads, you can actually get to learn them more when you know their past and their story.
Yeah, that's interesting actually. So yeah, maybe if I'm selling something for let's say fitness enthusiasts, so what we
Mhm.
could do is that maybe the top 10 foods that they should have, or maybe the top 10 exercises that they could be doing to burn belly fat fast, and it's very
Yes,
easy to find such information. Yeah, so
exactly.
when people do this, one, they would be able to build a trust with their audience, because
Yep.
you're not just selling them stuff, you're also just giving them free value. It's
Yep.
like it's like that book, jab, 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 right hook.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's this Gary
Correct.
Vee book,
Correct.
jab, jab,
Like
jab hook. Right? That
most
makes
of the brands, if you like take a look, like most of the brands, if you subscribe to them, you will
uh,
actually see most of the big brands, like even big brands, they just send promotional emails all the time. Like if you are a small brand, if you do this, like you implement article type of emails and add
mhm.
value, and then you will actually stand out among the rest, and people will actually remember you.
Correct. That absolutely makes sense. Now, that's one thing. Now, apart from email marketing on the back end, what other things do you think have worked the best for you guys?
In terms of beside broadcast campaign, we also recommend like building out the four foundational email automation flows. Like for example, the first one will be welcome email flows, welcome new subscriber email flows. The second one will be like a checkout abandonment
Mm.
recovery email flow, and then the
Mm.
third one will be browse abandonment, and then the fourth one will be like a post purchase customer thank you flow. So basically, for these four email automation flows, they covered four stages of buying behavior. So actually, if you have the four of this flow, you have uh, all the different part of the funnel covered.
Okay, so you mentioned four of these, right? The third one, browse, wherein someone's browsing, and I think they see a pop up and they give you the email, right? Is that one?
Browse abandonment basically means like, okay, they should be they should be existing subscribers. So when they visit your website, they view some type of like a products, but after some time they still haven't taken any kind of action to make the purchase. So
Oh, makes
like
sense.
a browse abandonment is actually like a we target them based on
Hmm.
what they look on the website. So like give them a nudge and just push them a little bit and make the purchase.
That's interesting, and all of this is tracked using the email marketing software that we use, right?
Yeah, like a Klaviyo, they can track that.
Klaviyo. That was my next question. So the best autoresponder according to you, there are a ton of them. Which one do you recommend?
I get this kind of question a lot, but I usually just recommend two. So the first one definitely for e-commerce brands specifically. So it's Klaviyo. Klaviyo, they have like advanced features like tracking, attributions, segmentation, retargetings, also like
Mhm.
a list cleaning segmentation. So I think that there is all of these are very good for like if you really want to do good with email marketing for your e-commerce brand. So, but however, like Klaviyo is on like a more expensive site. If if you if you are just starting out, you couldn't really afford that. I would recommend the second option, which is called Omnisend. So Omnisend is almost similar to Klaviyo. They have similar features, but not that advanced. But you can still
Mhm.
use that to get going, get started, and then the price is not as expensive as Klaviyo.
Nice. It's called Omniscient. That's what you said.
Omnisend, Omnisend.
Omniscience. Great. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna add that link in the description. That makes sense. That's good. So, tell me something. You mentioned four flows, that these are the flows that you recommend. Then there are broadcasts that you're sending. What kind of frequencies do you keep? So, let's say talking about the welcome flow, wherein someone buys from you and then you send them a series of emails. But then don't you think that this is gonna bombard
Mhm.
their inbox with a lot of emails? There are four flows running, and then you're sending broadcasts as well. So how do you identify on the frequency that you should
Mhm.
keep for them?
Usually, the first question that we will ask, like when a client work for us, like work with us, so we will actually ask them like, how aggressive do you usually want to be with your marketing? So
Okay.
if they choose not too aggressive, then we will reduce the frequency. Like for example, let's say for the checkout abandonment recovery flow, we usually have 6 emails, like 5 to 6 emails. So if they choose not to be that aggressive, then we will reduce that to 4 emails. Also,
Hmm.
like you mentioned about the problems with duplication, like they will receive this
Hmm.
and receive that at the same time. So that really comes down to like a timing, like uh how you time those timing together for each flow. Also for the flow filters, we have this within the software. Like if they already do something, if they already meet these requirements, they won't receive the flow. Then they will enter the next flow. So with Klaviyo app, we can actually do more advanced targeting like this.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. And by the way, so what's your like Casey is the short form of your name, right? Like, what's your complete name? What's your full name?
My full name is kind of hard to pronounce, so it's like a Kopchin. My full name, my first name is Kopchin. So Casey is usually how people remember me and pronounce my
Got
name.
it. So yeah, so there's a I think there's a city in India called Cochin. It's Cochin, Cochin, right? So yeah, but you're Cochin, that's what you're saying. So it's similar to coaching. It's similar to the word coaching.
Coaching, yeah, similar pronunciation to that, but that's hard to pronounce to most people. But just Casey's.
Yeah, like Casey is short and simple. Appreciate it. I mean, that makes sense. All right. Now, another question that I have. Let's say that when someone has a huge list, like by huge I mean, let's say tens of thousands of people, and they've not started email marketing yet. So, what should be the steps that they should be taking? Like, with Facebook, we usually recommend everyone to warm up their ad account. In the same way,
Mhm.
like, how do you guys recommend that people should be warming things up with their when they're starting email marketing?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a saying goes like this. So it takes a few months to warm up your sending reputation, and it takes less than a month of not sending any emails to completely ruin it. And yeah, you get the idea. So if they have that big of like a database, basically if they have not sent email to them at a long time, basically like majority of that database, like 100K for example, they are basically useless because if you never send email to them for a long time and you send the first campaign, you will see high spam rate, high unsubscribe rate, high
Mhm.
report rate. So if that's the case, like actually we have worked with a lot of this kind of clients. They don't really touch marketing, but they have big database. So usually we start with just like we start with article type of email. Like the first week, we send them the valuable based email to test the water and see how the audience reacts. And and then slowly we would see the open rates, the engagement, the click rates, the sales. Then the next week, the following week, we will see if you want to increase to the two email broadcast campaign per week or three, and see how it goes and see where is like a ceiling point and find a sweet spot between like a sales and then like a burnout rate. So we will actually find the sweet spot and stick with that, and then keep going and combine article email with promotional email. So hopefully with more broadcast campaign, we will engage most of the email subscribers from that big database and engage them back to the engagement segment. So they will stay in that, and we will actually segment them and do list cleaning and remove like those who don't really engage, don't really purchase, and like will be very useless to the database, because email subscribers amount actually cost money in that app. So actually we will help our clients remove useless subscribers.
Interesting. That absolutely makes sense. So it's like warming up Facebook ads, you know. So when you start with a new ad account, let's say, like this is what we recommend to our audience. First we run page like campaigns, you know. Then we run engagement campaigns, let's say reach campaigns, and after like a week's time, we recommend people to go live with the conversion ads. And then
Yep.
even when they're in conversion ads, we always recommend, like we started recommending them to also be running PPE ads on the side, so that Facebook keeps getting green flags on the
Yep.
on the ads that are being run. So yeah, I can definitely vibe with that. I align with that. You mentioned list cleaning at one point. So let's say you have a huge list, and of course everyone's not going to buy from you. Everyone's not going to open your
Yep.
emails. So how do you usually clean the list, or like do you remove people? Like how do you usually do it? Like on Facebook groups, or one strategy that I've seen people following is they make a post that if you're seeing this, then please leave a comment, and the ones who don't leave a comment, we're going to remove you from the group. Like that's how they remove inactive people from the group, so that their engagement level is always good and maintained. How does that work with email marketing?
Okay, so usually within Klaviyo, they have like some kind of metrics to track if people have marked your email as spam, if they have bounced your email, they have blocked you as a sender. So you can actually track this kind of metrics. So these are the basic segmentation that we use for our clients to actually help them to do the list cleaning. So we will segment them. So those who mark as spam, so like a bounce email at least 2 times, like they block you, they couldn't deliver at all, had a hard bounce, and we actually suppress them. What I mean by suppress is that like within Klaviyo, we actually have this feature called like a suppress. So you don't actually delete them completely off your database. You suppress them from your active subscribers. So they are from other pool. So that once you suppress them, they won't cost you money. So just in case in the future you want to do Facebook retargeting or do Google Ads or whatever, you need that kind of data of like how they like how many times they have purchased. So you can actually still export that suppressed list and also active email subscribers and export them and import to Facebook and do retargeting.
Okay, that makes sense. Now we've been talking about email marketing and then sending broadcasts and then different kinds of flows, right? Apart from email, what other tools or what other platforms do you guys usually use to maximize the backend revenues and profits?
Yeah, so actually there are three. So the first one is called we use Privy. So Privy is like a form of like an exit pop-up. So you can actually set up like a pop-up, entry pop-up, exit pop-up. So when people land on your website, you can actually convert a percentage of that website visitors into your existing email subscribers. So like for example, your daily website visitors is 1K, and then your pop-up is converting at 10%. 10% is actually good commercial rate. So 10% of 1K is actually 100. So on every day you will get like a 100 new email subscribers, and that's how you can actually grow your list more. And the second app that we use is like a SMS bump. We actually integrate SMS bump with Klaviyo and time all the flows together. Like for example, for like a abandoned cart flow, we recover the cart, like combine the SMS with the Klaviyo. So we actually time in between, like email. If they never open the email and never make the place an order, then they will receive the SMS. So actually, SMS can also recover a big chunk of their sales to for their website. And then the third one is like a push notification. Have you heard of that?
Yeah. We,
Yeah.
we, we do that. We use this app called Push Owl, I guess.
Yes.
For
Push
that,
out is
right.
very good. So we also use that. So we also same thing, same concept. We also do broadcast campaign for push
Mm.
notification. Also, we also time the flows to supplement the result for email marketing. So if we add all of this, you will actually see like a 10 to 20% extra revenue on top of email marketing revenue. So so this is what we call like a uh, full backend marketing to help you increase the retention of your customers and increase your average order value and lifetime value.
Okay, so when you mentioned Privy, don't you think that with Privy the store conversion rates go down, and maybe like this person who came to your store would have bought from you, but now you've offered a 10% off, so they've not really bought from you, and they're waiting for the 10% coupon, so that's also like reduced revenue. Like how do you what's your opinion on that?
So usually for the Privy pop-up, we usually target new subscribers only. So they can only subscribe once, and then they can only use one email address for them
Hmm.
for themselves. So they cannot use their same email address to subscribe and get the 10 code again. So also for the discount code, we use like a limit to one time use.
Okay.
Yeah, that's usually how we cook, how we deal with that. But there will always be some bad apples that try to trick a system.
Hmm.
They know how you do marketing, and then they will just like, okay, I will use another email address. They use incognito mode to see the pop-up again. So if they
Yeah.
know that, then we couldn't do much. But at least they
Hmm.
are still willing to buy with you and still use the discount code. So let's say for abandoned cart, we also for big database with a lot of data. So we usually have different tiers of checkout abandonment. So let's say they abandon their cart first time, then they will enter this tier one flow. Then they abandon their cart next time they try to make a purchase again. They will enter into the abandoned cart second time flow. So in this way, they don't really know the exact timing, and they don't really get the same incentive or offers to trick them again. So they won't know our strategy.
Okay, interesting, great. Tell me something. When do you think people should start all of this? There's so much, and let's say people listening to this right now who've just started getting their first set of sales, or let's say just mildly successful. When should they start setting up their email marketing overall?
I usually suggest them to set it up as soon as possible. At least they should set up flows, because once you start running Facebook ads or Google ads,
Mhm.
you have you will have new website visitors starting to come to your website. So if you
Yeah.
don't have like a pop-up, if you don't have like a system to actually recover the sales and actually help you generate more average order value, also like generate you more profit, so you might have like a hard time to actually only survive based on Facebook ads only. So I would suggest that always set up the abandoned cart flow, also other
Okay.
flow as well, if they can,
Mm.
and then do some kind of broadcast campaign and help you generate more cash and increase the average order value.
That's awesome. Yeah, that actually makes sense. So there's this new brand that we've started, and the community knows about it. So yeah, we're not doing any anything else apart from Facebook and Google Ads right now. So yes, I think I'm definitely gonna consider getting these things done. That's one, and two. So when I think you already answered that. So when we make it happen, cart abandonment flows is what they can do. Then they could also set up the SMS bump app, right? Because the ROI is fantastic, especially for the
Fantastic.
cart.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
so, and then the same thing applies with the push out, the push notifications app. At least
Yep.
abandonment is what they should do.
Yep.
And then the welcome flow, wherein once someone buys, we could just send them articles plus sales related
Yep.
emails. So
Yep.
one more question. So with these flows, so how many emails do you guys usually schedule? Like, and what is the gaps between every email that is being sent in automation? Let's say with the welcome flow.
So let's say for the welcome flow, like usually when they subscribe, they usually want to buy that they are within the very engaging time frame. So for the welcome flow, they subscribe, they will get the discount code from their first email. So the first
Mm-hmm.
email will always send out instantly. It was already sent out instantly, and they will actually open the email and see the discount code and click the email and actually make the purchase. So also within the email, the first email of welcome email flow, here's the tip I usually give people. So if you want to maximize your sending reputation, within the first email, you also ask people to reply to your email.
Yeah.
Like, let's say like you can ask them a question like, can you reply and let me know what you think, and then they reply to you and boost your engagement, and you will get higher sending reputation. So the first email usually send instantly. The second email usually send like um, can be few hours apart, depends on how you time your discount code to be uh, the expired time. So usually for every discount code that we make, we usually give them like a urgency or scarcity uh, tactics. So we usually will mention like, okay, within the first email we mention like, okay, this discount code expire in 1 day. So within that flow, we'll actually finish all the email series within a day. Usually is that. So there's a so for the second email, we will usually retarget those who never open, also
Mm-hmm.
who never really place an order. So we send an email, send there they will maybe we will have the chance to re-engage them back and actually see the discount code again. Then they will see the have high potential of making the sales. Then the third email or fourth email, we will also do the retargeting for the same behavior. So if you want to go for less aggressive side, we will keep it to 2 to 3 emails for just welcome email flow. So if people they really want those sales, desperately like really want those sales, so we will just increase to like 5 to 6. So it really depends on how clients want their marketing to be.
Okay, great. So one thing, you really know your stuff, man. I mean, whatever questions I have for you, you pretty much very clearly spot on. You know how you guys are to do this. So I'm sure you guys. Of course, I know you guys are doing great stuff. But yeah,
Mm,
it's really commendable. You really know your stuff. And this brings me to the end, and I'm going to ask you this one question. In
mm.
fact, so everyone listening to the podcast right now, most of people, let's say they are about to start their e-commerce businesses, or they've just started, or they've started getting success. What is the number one advice that you'd like to give to all the e-com entrepreneurs listening to us right now?
Don't sleep on email marketing, SMS, and push notification. Don't miss out on those extra sales, and don't freak out when you if you do that, you won't freak out. Like don't
Hmm.
when your Facebook gets shut down overnight, you still have something to depend on, maybe for a few months ahead. Then you can rest assured that you still have cash flow to spend on paid ads.
Interesting. Yes, because 100%. First, Facebook is becoming a big pain for
Yeah,
us. And with Google, things take time. Even when you're doing Google ads, it's not that you start Google ads and in 3 days you're gonna start getting sales. No, it takes.
yeah,
So Google's
beta.
algorithm is different. It takes time and it's slow. The optimization takes time. But if you have email marketing, I mean, that's how you build a real brand. You can keep getting these people back. You build a relationship with them. You can actually offer higher ticket products or customized
True.
products for your audience, and like that's when you actually become a business. But if you're just relying on advertising, you're not really running a business. You're just making money. And because if
Yep.
Facebook's gone, you're out of business, right? So
Yeah.
absolutely makes sense. So guys, I always believe that it's best to work with the experts rather than learning everything yourself. Because if you try as an e-com entrepreneur, there is so much that you need to learn. You learn Facebook ads, you learn research, you learn running your entire operations, and you learn how to provide a great customer service. So in my experience, what I usually do and what we usually do is we just partner with the best people who are experts at what they do. Like Casey's agency,
Thanks.
they're one of the best that I know in the e-commerce space right now. So what I'm going to do is in the podcast description, I'm going to add the link so that you can get in touch with Casey, maybe his website or his Facebook. And so before we started recording this, I was having a conversation with Casey about this. So Casey's agreed to offer a 10% off to every Nishkarsh Sharma show listener. So I'm going to add the referral codes. If you guys want to get in touch and you share the referral code, Casey's going to add a 10% discount on the services that they offer. So I'm going to add those details in the description below. And Casey, brother, it's been a pleasure to have you. It's been a pleasure pleasure to work with you in the past, and it's a pleasure to have you in the show today. Thank you so much for your time,
Thank
and
you.
it's
Thank you so much. Thanks. Goodbye.